everyone, and welcome back. If you guys are new here, there's Organizations Helping the World, and that is going to be our 11th discussion with another great organization. We are going to be learning about what they do and who they are. So if you guys are interested in learning about this new organization for our 11th discussion series, then please keep listening. Thank you, everyone. So if you guys are new here, we do have a new discussion with a new great organization. So I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself so she can kind of tell you guys what her organization is and how she started it.
Thank you for having me, Jasmine. So what I do is considered a mentorship program for models here locally. I have classes either every month or every other month and help people navigate the industry, how to set up their Instagrams, getting high quality content for this day and age for their social media. And just like for the women that stick around with me and men too have kind of become to my events as well. But it's mostly like a networking group. I bring them to my certain events and hopefully let them get some different opportunities or connections that they may not have been able to before. And just kind of breathe life into their dreams and build up their self-confidence. As Platinum Peach Models started last year. And it just started as that. I just had a lot of people reaching out to me when I was a freelance model and were asking me how I got started or how to get into it. And it's a lot to cover just through text message. Mm-hmm. So I started holding the classes so I could just teach everyone kind of like what I've learned or what didn't work and my different strategies with it. It's also now kind of expanded to producing events or hosting events and tying it with my music and offering them opportunities through music videos in those ways as well.
Right. And I know you have like a podcast about domestic violence that women are experiencing, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And Speaking Your Truth, Untold Stories of Abuse is a podcast I started 2 years ago before I had the modeling program. And it was geared towards helping people get out of domestic violence relationships. I chose to speak up about what happened to me. I was in a 10-year abusive marriage, military wife, all the things. And I know a lot of people could relate to my story. And knowledge is power in those situations. So I thought a good way to put it on a platform where thousands of people could hear it and possibly help someone. I brought people on as guests to also speak their truth and be validated and be heard. And I know I'm still in touch with all of them today too. And it's all kind of intertwined to where that's what I'm working towards of, being able to hold like benefit concerts for domestic violence, organizations or sponsoring women. Because I don't really charge a whole lot for my classes. A lot of modeling classes are like thousands of dollars and it's really high out of reach for everyday women like ourselves, especially women who have been through domestic violence situations and were set back financially. A lot of ways modeling and the things that I do are great ways to earn a good living. So I just want to open up those kind of opportunities to everyday women like myself.
Yeah. How has your experience with the podcast been? Or, have you, came across, any experiences where you just didn't know how to handle, the guest speakers?
I chose all my speakers strategically that I had on the show. They were actually people I had already known before, but then I found out about their abuse after I had spoken up about it. And, that's kind of what was my experience was that once I spoke up about it, a lot of people started speaking up about it as well, people that I didn't know had gone through it. And I think that's also one of the things that people don't realize of how much it affects everyone around them, and they might not even know it. When I started the podcast, I didn't really realize how much it was going to take off very quickly, or at least the response that I got, for one person was a lot at once. And because when I started it, I was still going through my divorce and trying to heal through my own trauma. Right. So I got a lot of people reaching out to me as, for help or advice on what they should do, or people were sending me, videos of them being hurt, or pictures and bruises, or just crying out for help. So I had to really kind of just send them different hotlines that they could use, and because obviously I couldn't help all of them, or so I had to take a pause on it, because I also didn't want to just sit in that story forever either. I feel like the podcast served the purpose of what I was trying to do at that time, and I had to. I even said it when I remember posting it and just being like, hey, I'm putting a pause on my podcast, and I'm going to find a bigger, better way to help people in the same, drive.
Yeah. And I mean, I know you do a lot, but I guess like as a businesswoman, I just want to get like your experience, like, how has it been, even navigating business after being like, or going through a situation like that?
Yeah, it's been a learning process, a lot of lessons learned throughout the process. I've grown a lot. I've learned a lot, but I do think the journey through this as a woman is a lot different. It's a lot harder. And coming from the trauma that I have, I think I was kind of susceptible to maybe more being taken advantage of or manipulated in some aspects of like the business of an entertainment business. So I had some hard lessons that I learned, just like I had hard lessons that I learned through modeling, and just that's why I was like, man, I want to help people not make these certain mistakes. But it's all helped me grow and learn. And now, I mean, I'm not stopping, and we have a lot of roadblocks, but I think just never giving up, and finding ways to do it yourself, people that you can trust, are really piece of advice that I would give other people trying to navigate it.
Biggest accomplishments that you feel like you have, gotten out of it, with doing that?
I feel like it's come a long way. I mean, we've done a lot this year. I was in 12 music videos, 13 music videos myself. Mm-hmm. I've gotten several other people into different music videos locally. One of my girls was featured in an art gallery. Very, I would say, known, I guess, within the city as far as Platinum Peach models and getting the name out there. And being a good team with it. We got to do different events. I mean, opening up for Pretty Powerful and Best Believe, and going there and showing that we're a well-organized group of people, and they're to have a good time and conduct good business. Yeah. And just a sense of community too. I think, we have really helped one another. We do events with each other and stuff. And I think we all kind of hope it'll grow into, continue to grow into something bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and it will. I definitely see. I mean, you do everything. You do a lot. So, how can they find your page? How can they contact you?
So I have a website, Vipeach.net. Most of the models that we work with are in there as well. All my social media is on there. Pretty much Vipeach on platforms. You can find my music. My Instagram is _Vipeach_. And reach out to me on my platforms. I usually will reply back. I usually host a set about once a month. I try to keep consistent with it.
I guess like someone going through a domestic violence situation, like a tip or like one thing you would tell them, like what would it be? To be kind to themselves, and it takes people an average of 8 times to leave their abusers. I don't think people really realize that, and they lose the support system that they really need sometimes because they have to go back and forth so much. People get frustrated, but they be impatient with yourself and making a plan of how to get out is strategic. And the more knowledge you have, the more power you have. I think reading and listening to podcasts and doing as much research as they can on what abuse really is and the different kinds of abuse will open up their eyes more and more and empower them more to leave. Well, thank you so much, for sharing. I mean, all of this and your journey, kind of, where you have, been and where you are now. If you could just tell people, I mean, again, just remind them where they can find you, where they can follow you, where, they can support you.
Podcast is Speaking Your Truth, Untold Stories of Abuse. That's still on all platforms. It's, Spotify, YouTube. I have a couple videos of it on my YouTube channel. It's official Vipeach. You can look it up, and Vipeach everywhere.
Well, thank you so much for coming on Organization.
Thank you for having me.